Oh, look at that. We're here.
Hi, everybody.
It's Luna Oi.
Welcome to my Mooncast.
Notice that I introduced Luna, but she did not introduce me. That gives
Because
you an
it
idea.
is my Mooncast.
Gives you an idea of what's going on here. Why did you mute yourself? Why
did
you
you
do
want
that?
to hear?
You won't. What would you hear? What are you talking about?
Okay.
I'm just curious. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I've heard that people in
this is
see
muted.
like the double.
No.
See? I don't
Where did
get
that
it.
come from? Because you have a tab unmuted or something? Oh, this is what needs to be muted.
Oh, see?
This is the problem. Is it better? Oh, I know what we gotta do. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just plug in headphones and that'll fix it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Talk to
Hi,
the people.
everybody. How
Talk
are
to the
you?
nice people.
I'm very excited for today's Mooncast, actually. Because, everything is fixed. Yay.
Look at this janky hotel setup we have. Hold on. We're streaming from a hotel, so this is how we have to do it. This is how we're gonna show you the book later.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Uh-huh.
It's just taped to a floor lamp that we're lucky enough to have. There's Luna.
Yes.
There you go. Lovely Luna. There you go. By the way, I'm wearing this brand
new design.
Workers of the World Unite t-shirt. We only have 20 of them. If you want one, you got to email us. Workers of the World Unite. I designed it.
Oh, it's really good.
We also have new patches and pins coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Luna's got I don't know where you picked up that Midwestern accent.
I don't know.
Got a couple of hammers and sickles for y'all.
Yeah.
Show those off, Luna.
It's really nice. I really love this. Look at this high quality.
We don't pitch our merch too much. We're just doing a new. These will start shipping Monday, so you have to pre-order them if you want them fast. And supplies are limited. Whatever. Blah blah blah. What else do we have? The fist.
Oh, I love the fist.
Black and red fists. We have this the CCCP space program for you collectors out there. So there's cool stuff. Also, in terms of announcements, EJ got some hot, fresh new ink.
Oh, yeah.
It does not look good on this camera, but
it's really great. It's really good. Wow, yeah.
It actually looks good, believe me. It looks crappy here, but get closer there, you can see.
Yeah, see?
It's Lady Liberty holding the sickle and hammer and
a red flag
next to my anarchism symbol. So there you go. Anarcho-communism. Boom. Luna was too chicken to get a tattoo with me, even though she has two. Did you know Luna has two tattoos? You might know about the tank, but did you know Luna has
a secret one?
The secret moon for Luna. People can't see it. You got it. There you go.
See?
That's our ink. Bulag Bandit Media. We do know that the situation in the Philippines sucks.
We do know. So depressing. I didn't expect anything because I know the situation in the Philippines is pretty bad. But of course, when it actually happened, of course, I'm still very sad and upset. And I don't know, man.
Story Stoner, we're glad you could be here. Aww. That's a great username, by the way.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if you have a YouTube channel or a Twitch chat or something, but I would watch something called Story Stoner. In fact, if we had a little the green, we might do a Story Stoner right now.
Yeah, right.
Sadly, we do not. But yeah, the Philippines, I mean, man, solidarity to the folks in the Philippines. That's terrible. I was really hoping that would be the end of the fascist authoritarian malarkey going on in the Philippines, but it looks like 5 more years of that. So
but now the fascists.
Yeah, I hope y'all can turn that around somehow. Is the book translated yet? Noah, the book has been done translated, but the problem has been, well, not a problem, but there's a process. The translation's been done for 3 months now.
Oh, more than that. 4 months.
When did 4 months ago? But after it's translated, it has to get typeset. That takes a long time, apparently, because we have to do, it's heavily annotated. There's a lot of footnotes, and there's been a lot of, just trying to figure out how to do that. But anyway, we are thinking in May it will go to the printers, and become available. So keep
Yeah.
an eye out for that. And if you want to be alerted as soon as it's done, email non-compete co-op at if you want to pre-order any of the merch you've seen, like these shirts or any of the stuff we got going on, or the stuff like there's also the Luna Oi shirts. I'll go grab those in a second and show you. But anyway, or if you want to be alerted when the new book comes out, either way, email non-compete-co-op@gmail. I'll put that in the chat and I'll put it on screen. And if you want the book, then put the word book in
Order.
the subject line.
Yes.
Book. It
Book
can be
order
book
or
order. As long as the word book is there, we'll find it. And if you want merch, put the word merch, MERCH. Okay? Non-compete co-op@gmail. And I will throw that up on screen. Email.com, of course. Okay. I'll go get the Luna Oi shirts so you can see those if you haven't seen them before. And then Luna will take over the rest of the show.
Yeah.
You want to let them know what you're going to be talking about with it?
In a few minutes, I will be translating this kid's book about Karl Marx, who is a very famous kind of kid book in Vietnam for like 6-year-old kids. And it's really amazing, and it's a comic book, color comic book that kids will love. I really hope that you can find some English version of this book, because give me my shirt quick, so cute.
I'm working on it.
So this is one of my most brown shirt design that I ever had.
Luna designed this one.
Yeah, I designed this one.
Look at this. It's Luna. These, I'm just warning y'all, these sell out fast, and we only have like 20 of them.
Yeah.
So if you want, they're already, they sold out in like 3 days last time.
Mm.
Can you fix that?
Yes.
We have very high standards here.
Yeah. It's just a piece of fabric. I
see it. Yeah.
Mm.
Just fix it.
Kind of hard to get out.
All right, we'll do it later when you can
Yeah,
focus more.
yeah.
But anyway, okay. Luna Oi shirt. There you go. Boom.
I drew
Luna drew it. Luna's responsible for this.
it.
Non-compete co-op@gmail. All right. Anything else you need from me?
No, I don't.
Lights on, right? Okay.
Actually, I don't.
Okay. Have fun, everybody. I'm gonna go do a bunch of
Can
bull
you
crap.
get me some drink?
Like water would be fine.
Or water is
Okay,
fine.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, feed me some water. Okay, everybody, let's start. I can't wait. I wanna be solo here. All right, everybody. This is our table in the hotel room. It looks dirty, but actually, it's just like the cheap like paint or something. I think it's like looks like a handmade table. But anyway, it's still cute, and there's a big crack in the middle of the table. This is a book. Who? Karl Marx. This is in a series of books about famous people in the world. There's also episode about about Che Guevara, and many other people too, activists in the world.
They also have like Bill Gates and J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. I mean, Hillary
Do you want to talk
Clinton.
about that for a minute? Because it's like,
Yeah, why not?
hold on, I'll be right back. Let me get your waters filtered. It's a mystery.
It's now, according to this book, the what do you call it? The organization,
Publisher.
the publisher is Chungbe Studios, and it's written by Lee Suk-ja. So all the names sound like Korean names.
It's like such a weird. Here, show us on screen for a second. Just remove Cambot. Okay, it's like the publishing company is Korean, Chungbe Studios.
Yeah.
But not really, because it's really published by this Vietnamese publisher.
Yeah, Kim Dong.
Kim Dong.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
a very famous Vietnamese publisher.
When we Google it, and I looked up the Korean on Naver, we can't find any information about Chungbe or any of the Korean people that supposedly worked on this.
It's strange.
So I almost wonder if it's like a front or like a fake, like a shadow organization or something.
No clue. I could not
It's
find
so
any
weird.
information about even the writer of this comic book. Like,
But Luna read it and says that it's like pro-communism and even has a section on the contradictions of capitalism. So
I want
I don't know.
to
If anyone has any information about Chungbei, we would be very curious to learn more. Okay, Luna, I will let you take
Okay.
over.
Yeah, let's do it. This is my cup of water. All right.
Do you want to have your face on there too, or just the book?
Now, who wants to see my face? Come on.
Everyone wants to see your lovely face.
Yeah. All right. Who Karl Marx? Written by Lee Suk-chia. Maybe.
If Lee Suk-chia is.
Yeah. The drawings art is Chungbei Studio, and the translator is Cao Thị Hải Bắc. Here, this is the inside drawing of it. I really love the drawing style, I gotta say. And this is the forward, the preface of the book, talking about of the publisher, talking about how books are very important to nurture our souls. And this is a timetable, the table of content of the book. The table of content, sorry. Chapter 1 is about the start of change. Chapter 2 is
Are you going to read the whole table of contents, Luna?
There are only 7.
I'm just okay.
We're
making content.
Shut up, EJ. Okay? Peace. Peace out.
I love you.
Chapter 2 is the respectful father. Chapter 3 is the unfair society. Chapter 4 is study to change the world. Chapter 5 is the relationship with Angle. Chapter 6 is the hell of poverty. And the last one is about the contradictions of capitalism. And okay, this is a short biography about Marx. Just like 2 pages like this. I will translate it real quick for you all. Karl Marx, or in Vietnamese we call it Các Marx. He's a philosopher, a political economist, a great political economist that has great influence in 19th century. He was born in May 5th, the same month with me. Wow, I mean May is so special month. I was born in May Day, and also that's a May Day. And then so Marx also born in 5th May. On the 7th May, we had Điện Biên Phủ victory when we ended French colonialism. And then Ho Chi Minh was born in 19th May. It's amazing. He was born in 5th May 1818 in Trier, Prussia. Now it is Germany. Marx was the 3rd son in a family of 7 brothers and sisters. His father, Heinrich Marx, was a lawyer in Trier, and he was respected by many people. Her mother, Henrietta Pressburg, was Holland, German. Okay. When he was a little boy, because of the influence coming from his father, Marx concerned a lot about the injustice in the society, and he had a dream of changing the world, bringing justice to everybody in the world. Even though he was not really good in school, but Marx was a little boy. Marx was a boy who really loved reading books, especially literature, like the classic literature. This hobby gave him the ability to sympathize and the very diversified knowledge about the society and the world. And this is a very important foundation that helped Marx become a great philosopher and had ability to write great books, like genius books and articles. In 1985, Marx studied law in Bonn University because, at that time he thought that becoming a lawyer as his father was like would bring him a bright future. But just like soon after that, Marx found out that only philosopher is the only path that helped Marx made his dream come true. That is to bring justice and happiness to the people. Marx decided to devote himself to the path of revolutionary path that is full of danger. In 1936, he moved to study in Berlin University and study philosophy. In 1981, Marx graduated from that university and came back to Bonn City. 3 years later, he met Frederick Engels in Paris, and from that great relationship, the the system of theory about um, communism was founded in 1948. According to like those people who formed the Communist League, you know, along with the people who formed the Communist League, Marx and Engels together wrote the Communist Manifesto, where they talk about and explain about the purpose of the class struggle and the the role of revolution to the proletariat. In 1864, after 10 years of studying and researching, Karl Marx published the first volume of Das Kapital, one of the most great book that explain about the system of capitalism, about profit, about surplus value that the capitalists like use that to exploit the labor of workers, and in the end to make sure that we can all survive in this society, the proletariat will definitely rise up and start a revolution, and capitalism will die off on itself. The two next volumes of Das Kapital was biên soạn is like was edited by Frederick Engels based on all the notes that Marx left, and they were published in 1985 and 1994. After more than 100 years of all the struggles and changing in the political society, in the political social of the world, the ideology and the theories of Marx still keep the very important the origin, the great values about the revolutionary struggle, about liberation and about human liberation from exploitation, from injustice, especially to the proletariat. Yes, and yeah, yeah, and I mean, I the point of the end of this is like even like more than 100 years has passed and many things happen, but Marx's ideology still has very important values to the proletariat all over the world. Okay, I'm checking the chat too. I really hope that yeah, this is a Chungbe studio. This is for 6+ kid, means that like kids that like over 6 year old. I do hope that you can have English version of this because I mean we have a translator in Vietnamese to Vietnamese, so I hope that there's gonna be English translator somewhere on the internet, right? Okay, that's a short biography.
Translation, or do you want a person to translate it?
There must be somebody translated this already, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We
Hope
can't
so.
even figure out if Chunde Studios is a real thing.
Felipe Veloso, hi, welcome. We are translating a book, a comic book about Karl Marx from Vietnamese into English. And it would be really great if you can find this book in English version. It's going to be great for your kids too, you know?
Maybe that's just something you're going to have to do.
Oh, man.
Poor Luna has to translate all the Vietnamese works to English by herself.
Okay, now chapter 1, the beginning of change. Or you can say like start to change, something like that. Marx was born in May 5th, 1918 in Trier, in the beautiful city of Trier in Prussia. Trier is a small city under the occupation of France in more than like 2 decades from 1797. But until 1815, this beautiful land is under the control of Russia. Now, this is a picture of a beautiful village, like town, something like that. And this is villagers. And he say, "Congratulations, the lawyer Henrich." Him, this is a lawyer Henrich, aka Mark's father. "Oh, thank you, everybody here," Mark's father said. At that time, Russian king was a very blustery king, and the people in Trier city was bearing was under like a very like violent control of this king. Meanwhile, the socialists like in France at that time were fighting for their liberation. So it means like that at that time there was like a huge tension between socialists in France who like trying to liberate their people and the king in Russia, like very bloodthirsty, violent king. This is Russian king. Whoever dare to say no to me will all be punished. And these are all the people who try to oppose the king. And these are the what do you call it, intellectuals in Trier city that talking about the situation in the city right now. This guy said the king and the bourgeoisie, they don't know that time is changing, the society is changing. Like it is time for us to have a revolution right here on this land. Talking about this, there's a like intellectuals, revolutionaries. I guess this is Marx. And said this little kid said, "Father, just let's play like riding horse with me."
When can I be on my own?
EJ. Oh my gosh.
Father.
Yeah. Trier was a city founded by the Romans, as long as I remember. I didn't know about that. I've been to Trier before. Wow, awesome. Hmm. Oh, so that's what he meant, like when like riding the horse means that his father's going to be the horse and he's riding him. Okay. Okay. Mr. Heinrich Marx, father of Karl, he was a very good and talented lawyer and was respected by the civilians in Trier. He was a great father and he loved his like children so much. Yeah, this is his sisters, Max playing. It is Carl's mother. Carl, you cannot do that. That's disrespectful. How did I teach you before? She was mad. She was mad. And you see, like, well, his father really scared of his mother. In a cute way. Carl, you're the firstborn child in this family. You need to be the model for your younger sisters and brothers to follow. And yeah, his father just laughed like this so hard. Yeah, this is a story about his mother. Marx was born in a Jewish family and he was under the heavy influence of very strict rules. However, his father always wanted him to become a person with like like want to chase like like free, want to be a free man, not following the old strict rules of his people. And his father, "Hey, don't be that strict to our children. The society now is already like changing. We need to change too to fit the new society. So the father is talking to the mother to stop being that strict to children. And the mother was just like, Oh my gosh, it's just like she's like gave up. She can't do anything to change them. Next scene, Marx was sick on the bed. The mother, Carl's having fever again, honey. Carl said. Karl Marx was the third born son of the. Oh no, I'm waiting. Oh, wait a minute. Carl. Here he said like, wait a minute. So in this, she said Marx was Karl Marx was the firstborn son of the family, so need to be like to set as a good as example for sisters and brothers to follow. But actually, Carl is like the thirdborn son in the family. So what actually happened? I don't know. Did I understand something wrong? Maybe the third born son, but the first son, he had like two sisters. Because it is true that it doesn't matter about how many sisters they have. It's the same thing in Vietnam. The firstborn son was always the most important. Yeah, right. Patriarchy. I hated it, but I mean, hey, thank you so much. Gold Scroll. Thank you so much for your super chat. Oh, wait a minute. I got raided. Welcome, raiders. Welcome. I'm Luna. Let me this. I'm Luna, a Vietnamese communist born and living in Vietnam. Now I'm having a stream where I translate a comic book about Karl Marx for kids. This is a comic book for kids, like 6-year-old kid. Yeah, we are translating it and learning how, like, the childhood of Marx and, his life and how he become a revolutionary in the world. I mean, welcome everybody. Hope that you will enjoy the stream. Hi everybody. Now back to the main story. So maybe that's what it means, when I can show both, right? Like he technically was a third born son, but because he was the first son in the family, so the most important. I could be wrong. Somebody can explain it to me. Thank you very much. Vietnamese communist born living in Vietnam, exactly. Hi everybody. Now, continue. Marx is now having a fever. He's sick on a bed. And his father said, like, I guess that you wear out and you got like some cold wind, and that's why you having a cold. So just please stay home and just don't go out, my little boy. They both very sad. Marx was also sad, and he's checking a book on the bed. Because Marx could not go out to play due to his health problem, Marx spent most of his time to read books. He's coughing and reading books at the same time. Yeah, this is older sister Marx. Carl, what book are you reading? And then Carl said, this is a story about the Prometheus in the Greek legend, the one that brought fire to human. Yeah, I also love this story about Prometheus stole the fire of Zeus. I think I don't know, I could be wrong, but he stole fire and brought it to human, and literally saved human from like poverty and cold and death. And then he was punished for that forever, for daring to like have human like that. And also the other like sisters and brothers like, oh, so he brought fire to human. And Carl said, yes, and because he stole the fire from Zeus and gave it to human, Prometheus was had to bear a very terrible punishment. Oh my god, so scary! Yeah, this is true. I still remember that when I read this, it's kind of I had a very strong emotion about this. While Prometheus was tied into this rock cliff, and then in the daylight, all the like vulture, eagles, kind of dangerous animals would just go eat his liver. And at night, because he's still, a god, so he could not die. At night, his liver will grow back. And back in the daylight, the bird and animals just go eat his liver like that. It's like continuously punishment every day like that. Oh, I mean, it's never forget that. Because all his younger brothers and sisters got so scared of this story, Mark said, "Well, I guess I will stop telling the story here now." Well, all the valid, "Oh, no, 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 please continue. Continue. We scared, but the story is so good." Okay, and Max Carl smiled so big. "Now I will make a very delicious cake for you. Please wait." Also, Carl also like make food and cake for his younger sisters and brother too. And then it is so cute, and all of them saw like Max making cake, but they said like, "You about to make us cakes without washing your hands? You're so dirty." This is another lesson for kids. Before you eat or before you cook, you should wash your hands with soap. Okay? Don't be like Karl Marx here, making cakes without washing his hands. Like, nobody dare to eat your cake now. You didn't wash your hand. And Carl said, "Start eating. I still have many more stories to tell you." And they're like, "Stories? What stories?" Carl said, "This time there's gonna be a great story of Shakespeare. The full of tear love story. The love story that full of tears about Romeo and Juliet." "Okay, we're eating now. We're eating now. Please tell us a story." So, Carl, use stories to, I don't know, to force his little brothers and sister to eat the cake that he made without washing his hands. And then the older sister of Carl just laughed and say like, "Well, Carl's just so funny and sneaky." Carl, not like other children, he had an ability of sympathize with other people, and the way he thought about things was very different from other people. Now he's in the middle of the the grapes like garden. Man, this is also my dream. Also want to go to grape garden like this. He's smelling. "Wow, I smell a very good smell in the wind. The villagers must be making the wine right now." Like walking and smelling. And then he saw a wagon throwing like dust all in the air. And he thought, well, the landlords sitting in the wagon must be the owners of this grape garden. And this is a freaking landlord, man. He's kicking a poor farmer and yelling, "Speak, talk now. Why we have less grapes this year than last year?" And the poor farmer said, "It's not our fault. It's because of the weather." No excuse. You're trying to take an excuse here. This is just always because of your laziness. You all lazy. And the poor farmer just begged for mercy. "Please, please forgive me, my lord." All the poor people crying, but didn't dare do anything to say because the landlord was too powerful and he owns literally everything. Karl Marx was shocked. Why didn't anybody do something to save that poor farmer, to stop that landlord? He was asking that question. Here. He came back home and he talked to his father. Father, today I saw with my own eyes hundreds of people got so scared in front of just a man, a landlord. And his father, why do you think that was wrong? The father asked like, and you think that was wrong, right? It was wrong that hundreds of people got scared of this only one man. And Carl said, yes, that's right. Um, those landlords and landladies, those rich people, they just party every day, while poor farmers, they work all day and night, and they don't even have enough food to eat. And his father just like tap into his head and say, Carl, you're just a little boy, but you can think about that injustice. That's really good of you. And Carl asked, Father, why the poor people keep staying quiet and silent and don't do anything, don't dare to do anything to fight against the landlord? His father explained, that is because in this kingdom of Russia, the king and the bourgeoisie is the rulers of our country. Carl said, Carl asked, is that true? His father said, yes. Carl, so if one day the king and the bourgeoisie stop ruling our country, what would happen? But how can we make that happen? The father was like, he didn't know the answer. And he said a true story. But before in French, our neighbor country, the people rose up and tried to overthrow the king. Wow, they overthrow the king? Yeah, this is the French Revolution here. Memories about French Revolution, where like the farmers rose up and screaming, let's create a world of freedom and liberty, freedom and justice, freedom and equality. Yeah, let's create a world of freedom and equality. And then the king and the bourgeoisie in the palace like, stop the revolution. And then they brought up the guillotine, the very famous guillotine where the farmers did it to the bourgeoisie and the king and the queen. Long live freedom! The king is now died. The king is now dead, and our revolution has succeeded. And back to the father. Now, have you understand that, Carl? The world is changing faster and faster every day. Carl was thinking. Carl, what are you thinking? Why are you still sitting here? And he said, Father, I wish that there's also a revolution in our country. What do you say? And Carl continued, Why? Why we all just human? We all person, we all people. Why our faith was decided even before when we were born? Not like not based on our own ability or our own will or something. Like why our faith were or pre-decided before we were born. And the father said, well, that is the law of society now, that if you're the son of the king, you're going to be the next king. And if you're the son of the bourgeoisie, of the landlord, you're going to become the bourgeoisie, the landlord too. That is unreasonable law. And that law is the reason that made thousands of people become slaves and made our country now become a kingdom that's full of injustice. Marx was very mad. He keep he keeps thinking about the image that he saw while like the landlord took everything and the poor farmers and the poor kids couldn't do anything, just like crying and stand there and look. And here they all got beaten up like this. And his father, it was not just that. The king even created war based on his wrong decision, and it caused like thousands of deaths of innocent people, devastation. All of the poor farmers and the workers had to like gave everything they can, all the money and all the food to the king and the royal families and the bourgeois and the landlords too, And not just that, they had to even go to the war and to the battlefield and fight and died for nothing. Car, father, I wish that this feudalism stopped existing. His father, I do hope that your dream will one day come true, my son. I wish, Carl continued, I wish that everybody in the world has happiness, can live a happy life. His father thought, he didn't say, but his father thought that, hmm, Carl is a very sensitive and brave man. From very early age, Marx continuously had, an argument, some kind of debate kind of form with his father about the social issues. And the more he grew up, the more he showed his concerns about those social issues. And these are like the keys that made Marx become a special person like this. I will fold the screen like this. This is called like the key to success of Karl Marx. The first is vị nghĩa, means like Marx always wanted to care for other people first, you know, put other people before his own interest and his own benefit. The second, he always willing to sacrifice himself for humanity. The third is that he never stopped studying, never stopped learning. And last is that he loves reading books, and books was the one that taught him all of the knowledge that he knew. So yeah, amazing. Chapter 2, the respectful father. Not Marx, what do you call it? Beside his real father, Heinrich Marx, Marx also had another godfather named Westphalen, a royal and also a friend of Marx's bloodfather. This is him, his godfather. Hey, Westphalen! They met each other on the street and called each other name like this. Oh, hey, the lawyer Heinrich. Um, you're still wearing the same like suit like this? It's this suit. And Mark's father said, oh, this is not just a normal suit. It is the symbol of the resistance of the people. I know, I know. Like the people who joined the French Revolution also wore it, right? We are the representatives of the people, and we demand to have a constitution that respect and protect freedom and equality. Even the king cannot just take whatever kind of tax that is illegal to the law, according to the law. This is Mark's father said about like it was because of the the dissolution, right? The dissolution of the people's representatives of Louis XVI, the Louis the 16. It was the reason why French farmers rose up and had a revolution. And after the revolution, the feudalism and the ruler, the king, the ruler of the king, the royal family almost like die off and then like disappear in French. Heinrich and Westphalen used to be member of the casino what do you call it, casino group, casino organization. I don't know exactly the name, but I'm sure that people in the chat will know about this. Henrik and Westphalen used to be members of casino group. The group of intellectuals in Trier at that time. The casino group included many members such as lawyers, businessmen, teachers, even the bourgeoisie, the landlords, and also many progressive politicians. They all wanted to have a new society with new ideology, and they all opposed to feudalism and supported socialism. This is the group. Continue. And Henrik said, well, it is so sad that, France already had a revolution, but in Russia, we still living under the control, the rule of the brutal king. That is why we, the casino group, we had to be the leader, the leader, as well as the representatives of the people. Yes, exactly. That's right. That we, the members of the casino, must be the representative to the people as French did. Reminder that a casino group can be a rowdy bunch. Exactly. In our time now, like in our time, nowadays, the king and the bourgeoisie also just account for 1% of our population, but they are owning every single asset and land in this country. Meanwhile, 99% of our population are poor farmers, and they have to work like terribly every day just enough to pay tax to the king and the royals. The people also don't even have the right to have like any political decisions. We need to erase this injustice as soon as possible. But this man is kind of scared, but it is the rules that we've been following for so long. You mean like, the son, the king will be the next king. Okay. Nowadays, the farmers in Russia are living in misery and poverty under the plus under the brutal dictatorship of the king. We had so many bad harvests because of the weather, but the government still asks the people, force the people to pay the same tax. And the people who died of poverty and starvation is getting higher and higher every day. And there are even more and more people got executed because they dare to hide the food from the landlords. Oh, poor the farmers, the whole group said. In this hell of poverty, the king and the bourgeoisie still exploit the people, exploit the farmers to make their pocket to the full of money, to fill up the pocket with money. We cannot just stand here and do nothing in front of this injustice, unjust society. Now, what should we do now? Louis the king would never agree to resign or give up his throne. We have to sit down and talk to find a resolution for this. They all like, it reminds me a lot of, a bunch of, progressive liberals who like, keep talking about work within the system, or like, even though like we keep saying like we have to overthrow, we have to have a revolution, but these liberals just like, let's just work within the system, see, just fix it. I mean, it's kind of give me the vibe like that. Back to Marx in Karl Marx in school. When Marx was 12 years old, he studied in secondary school in Trier until when he finished the what do you call it high school. All grades of Marx at that time were just like medium. He was not really good at the grades in his class, but because of the influence coming from his father and Westphalian, his godfather, Marx had a lot of chance to read many novels and stories, famous classic stories about the whole world, and he had a very like rich knowledge about the society, the human society. That is why Marx was always better than other students and his classmates about like sympathizing and writing like essays or articles, something like that. It is his classmate. Wow, Marx. When Marx talk about stories of written by Shakespeare, they are all so good that I cannot stop listening to it. Well, I thought that he was also very good at the Don Quixote of Cervantes. Oh, let's just go ask if what books that Marx is reading now. I mean, like all of his classmates just love Marx a lot and want to always want to hear stories coming from him. And Marx said, "I am reading a poem book of Heinrich Heine." Heine? And they asked like, "Well, who's Heine?" And then when they were talking, the teacher came. "What are you doing here?" Like gathering in a big group like this. And another student said, "Oh, teacher, Carl like just learned by heart the whole poem book of Heinrich Heine." "Oh, Carl, he seems to love literature, huh?" "Carl, your last essay was really good, and lots of teacher like said good things about you." "Oh, what did he write?" Well, that the classmate asked. And Carl answered, "I express my thought about religion and society of our kingdom of Russia." Wow, that topic is so hard. This is a line of the writer. Literature is a very important part of Marx's life. All of those novels and poems and articles that Marx read in his life was also the foundation that helped Marx become a very famous philosopher later in his life. EJ, I need your help. The laptop battery is running out.
Uh-oh. The white one, right?
Yes.
I can fix that.
Well, I hope that you all like reading this story with me, right? What do you think, EJ? You listening? Are you
It's
asleep?
like I'm in school again.
Shit.
It's like I'm in the first grade again.
Shit.
No, like you're my teacher.
Okay.
What's the chat thing? Who
The
cares what I
chat,
think?
yeah, right. The chat room. Well. Hey, Silver Spaghetti chat, welcome.
You're late for class, Silver Spook.
You're late. You're late for the class. Continue. Oh, I think it is how his godfather was rich, huh? He went to his it looks like a castle, and he came here to his godfather's house. And then I guess like the housekeeper asked him like, "Hello, Carl. Oh, you like finished all the books that the Westphalian, the godfather gave you?" And he said, "Oh, this is all the I gotta say the servants in the house of his godfather asked him." And he said, "Oh, yes, I finished everything, and I am now here because I want to borrow more." Carl, his godfather said, "I am so surprised that you can finish all of those like very hard books like so fast." And Carl answered, "But the strange thing is the more I read those books, the more I feel angry. What really? Why? I always feel that. I always feel like the more I read, the more I know that I don't know anything. Haha, Carl. That is because your knowledge is now like you have a very good knowledge now. That is why like the more you learn things, the more you feel that like you don't know anything. That is normal. Yeah, I agree with that though. You know the Dunning-Kruger effect. The least you know about something, you're like the most confident. But the more you know about something, the less and less you feel confident about it. Exactly. So it's kind of funny to me seeing a bunch of people who always brag about like they know exactly what socialism means or like exactly what Marxism, Leninism means, something like that. But actually, when I ask some more question and go deeper a little bit, they just like they know nothing. It's exactly it. And this is, I guess, the daughter of his godfather. Wow, Carl was so smart. He like my father like loved talking to him. Jenny, what are you doing here? Oh, mother. Hmm, that boy has came again. I don't understand why like my husband like keep inviting him to this house. So the wife of his godfather hated him. I see. And Jenny, the daughter, just said, Carl just came here to borrow some more books. And her mother said, Jenny, you definitely cannot be friend with that kind of person like Carl. You remember that you're like the daughter of a landlord family of the bourgeoisie family. You're the royal family, you remember? I well, but day after day, time after time, Max and Jenny became more and more, close with each other. Even though, well, Jenny's from a bourgeois royal family and Max from just a poor family. Max came back home, walked back home, and this is his mother. Shh, walk nicely and quietly. Your father is having a very important meeting. Yes, mom. And Max came back home, check out the bookshelves, seeing his father, and he thought, this is the first time I saw my father that serious. Like he thought like something so hard. Father, what are you writing? Father always been so like happy and laugh and smile at me, but why he's now so like serious? Oh, Carl, when were you here? Why didn't you tell me when you got here? I'm afraid that I would like distract you or something. Oh, no problem. There's nothing important than my son in this world. Oh, that's sweet. Max always loved and respected his father so much. Mr. Henrik's also the father that very proud of his son and usually talked to him as a good friend. Father, is there anything called the truth in this world? It is a very hard question. Why are you suddenly talking about this, asking about this? Carl said. Because I cannot understand that why does a country must have a king? Is that the truth? Carl, the reality is still reality. We just trying so hard to come closer to the truth. So how can we get closer to that truth? You need to nurture the power, the strength of your thought. The power of my thought? What does that mean? It is the power that help us realize that all the things that we've been studying our whole life might be right, but also might be wrong. Oh, I understand. We must believe that not just the king, but also even the people have the ability and have the right to lead our country, right, Father? Yes, exactly. But to nurture that power of thought, you need to study philosopher good. Philosophy. Philosophy? Philosophy is a kind of field that would study the power of thought. Galileo Galilei, Galilei found out that the Earth, like rolling around the sun, also based on his experience and how he observed the world, and that is the power of thought. Okay, he's like Galileo Galilei is like one of the very famous example of how human can find truth based on our observation and experiment. Before that, is the sun running around the earth or is the earth running around the sun? Nobody can know what's the right answer. And a lot of people like believe that the earth is actually the center of the universe, and Galileo Galilei had and thought that the what Galileo said was wrong. And like the story of people who criticized and doubted Galileo and call him like, are you nuts? Are you insane? Father, I also want to become a person like Galileo, the person who never stopped finding truth in this world. Carl, I believe that you would definitely make your dream come true. All the knowledge that his father taught him became a very famous foundation to form the foundation for Marx to form his philosophical ideology. This is Marx thinking about his father's words. Philosophy, and his father's the memories of his father told him you always remember that sometimes the truth, the thing that we all believe, actually not the truth. Even we used to believe that the earth was the center of the university. We all used to believe that, but actually it's not true. Like Marx just talked about that hard. Akashic College. Well, kids at S6 in Vietnam talk about deep issues like this. Yes, we do. Meanwhile, I have adults in the US who believe flat Earth theory. I mean, yeah. Oh, Alex, welcome, welcome. I hope that you can watch this later. Is that a Vietnamese manga? It is a very mysterious kind of thing because, as I said in the start of the stream, mm, it was written. This comic book was written by Lee Suk-ja, and the art was made by Chungbe Studios. The name sounds very Korean to me, but I couldn't find any information about Lee Suk-ja or Chungbe Studios. All I can find is they are very famous in Vietnam, and the publisher is Kim Dong, a very famous publisher in Vietnam. So it still remains as mysterious to me. This is some background information about in Karl Marx's lifetime. First about the French Revolution, and second is about the Industrial Revolution, and the third is about capitalism. Let's read about capitalism here in this part. This is also the first time I read this, so if I translate it slowly or have some mistake or something, just please bear with me, okay? I'm trying my best. Yeah, okay? Sorry if I made any mistakes. Okay. Capitalism is a form of economy that put the foundation that like believe that believe in the private ownership. That's true. That is why the capitalist class and the businessmen are the people who own all the means of production and always like continuously push the production to make more and more profit. Moreover, with the economic model of capitalism, every product, every service price, investment, and even like delivery, they all happen through the market economy. Market economy. Most of the economical forms of capitalism, of the modern capitalism, were developed in British in the 16th to the 19th centuries. Remember, this is 6 years old kid in Vietnam reading this. Okay, very interesting. In the West, after feudalism, capitalism became the most influential and the most basic part in a society. Moreover, because the power and the wealth just be like pile up, just focus on in the small number of people who own the capital. That is why capitalism is the main reason caused the injustice in human society. Karl Marx strongly opposed and criticized the shortcomings of capitalism, and he wanted to build a socialism to fix all of these problems. To the 20th centuries, capitalism quickly changed and developed many other uh, means to be suitable with the new political, economic, and culture and society in many regions in the world. On the other hand, uh, moreover, I gotta say, like, yeah, moreover, capitalism is now like preparing. Hmm, and capitalism is now changing really hard and to like trying to like what do you call it? Trying to not fix, solve. Capitalism is changing and trying to to solve all the issues that Karl Marx pointed out in the old time. Talking though, so it mostly means that like capitalism started from 16 and developed to the 19th centuries, mostly from British and from the West, and now it's changing really hard. It's changing fast and hard, and the lots of like means and all of the other stuff like that. So in like politics or economy or culture, even society, many reasons, like it changed really. The point is capitalism changed really fast and it doesn't look like it was in 16th century anymore. Okay. Adapt, yeah, exactly. Joe below that is adapting, yeah. So the point is that like capitalism doesn't stay the same anymore, that is it is adapting really fast right now. And it's true that like because capitalism used to be like very exploitative, and workers work like more than 12 hours a day recruiting child labor. But it's also because like we've been criticizing it a lot and had a lot of the worker strikes in the 1920s all over the world. Capitalism now adapting into like worker works less, and my point is that we as workers, we as proletariat, we as revolutionaries, we also need to understand that capitalism is adapting real fast and we need to keep fighting for it, because like they are adapting in a sense that like they never want to change the core reason why it's very exploitative. It's just trying to change in the surface level. and try to fool you. That is why it developed into now like the word imperialism, you know, like they export exploitation to global south country. It also like made up bullshit like whiteness and racism, and also not made up but like use racism and sexism to divide the workers. I mean, yes, it's very different than the 16th centuries, I gotta say. Okay, we have about 50 minutes left in the stream. Do you want to continue the book, or go back to mainstream and I can answer your question? Why not? What do you think? Oh, Squash Vein, you're really good at translating. If I try to do that, I just stammer. I thank you so much. I know that I stutter a lot and have a lot of problem, but I mean I'm trying my best. Ooh. Oh, you will love more book. Okay, more book then. Chapter 3. The Unjust Society. I really love the title of this. The Unjust Society. When Marx was 16 years old, his father had a speech in front of the Frederick Wilhelm III, the king, and in front of many other Prussian landlords and royals, bourgeoisie too. And he's, what? You had a speech in front of the king? Oh yes, Mr. Hendricks wrote this speech a long time ago. It is, the group of, I guess, the casino group. Oh, they talk about like how Hendrik was about to have a speech in front of the king, and that's why they spread it like I'm afraid that he would be like dragged out of the palace and be punished because of that. And then imagine like he was taken out of the palace, and then Henrik said, "You cannot do anything if you keep being scared like this." But yeah, that's true. I understand this very much. A bunch of people like, oh, we should defund the police, overthrow the government, do something. But like, oh, what if we lose this? What if we lose that? Yeah, exactly. Like a bunch of quote unquote progressive liberals. They're so scared of everything. Like, I saw. Back to his home, he woke up. Carl woke up, and I guess his father woke him up like, the sun is now high up in the sky. Hurry, hurry, Max, we need to go. Okay, he woke up already. Today is the day that my father is gonna have a speech in front of the king. Father, the news about your speech in front of the king is now all over in our town. Carl, actually, I'm very nervous right now. Why? Everybody is waiting for this event. Well, the thing that I'm very nervous about is that the king still doesn't want to change. If the king doesn't want to change, all of my all what I try to do will become like meaningless. No, father, the king will definitely understand and he will change his mind. And not just the king, there's gonna be many other people in the palace today that will watch you and listen to you. And back again, they go downstairs, meet their friend and his father, the wife, very nervous. Just like everybody has said, today is a historical day. Everything will depend on your father, Carl. My gosh, if somebody told me that, I'm gonna be extremely nervous. Ugh. Just whenever I think about my father giving a speech in front of the king, I'm so proud. Wow, will our lawyer Henrik be successful? Just like whenever I just think about like the king might resign and the society might get better, makes me happy so much. And this now in front of the king, and Carl's father is giving the speech. The time has now changed. We must think about the French Revolution. Most of the regions in Europe doesn't have feudalism anymore. Therefore, the whole people of Russia want and demand the king to resign to act as a smart and bright king. It is time for us to catch up with the rest of the world. So he's asking the king to resign, okay, to act smart and resign. Carl was so nervous and he said, "Oh my gosh, today I could not read any book." Like he's too nervous, he couldn't focus. And he's thinking about like everybody, even the king, saying like his father's speech is so awesome and we love that and we all feel so emotional because of it. And he thought about like, well, my father now must having a party and everybody's standing around him and asking him and talking to him. His mother, "Carl, why your father hasn't been home yet? I'm so worried. What if something happened?" And he said, "Well, I guess the party just lasts longer than we expected." Oh my gosh, like why can you be that like calm, Carl? And finally, "Oh, father, father." His father didn't say anything, went back home quietly, kind of sad. Uncle, I mean, aka, yeah, Uncle, what did happen in the palace? Carl, the speech was really awesome, really great, but the king got pissed off, and now your father is very nervous and worried. The king got pissed off? The king was angry? I hope that the king will not punish your father. And he thought about what his father told him. I was afraid that even after my speech, if the king still didn't agree, all of the things that I tried will become meaningless. Oh, so my father expected that he would piss off the king, but he still did it. He's so such a he's such a brave man. And then somebody knocked the door, and I guess the next day somebody came and knocked the door. Why did the police come to our house? Evil fucking ACAB. What happened? Where is Mr. Henrik Max? He came down. We got an order to go here and investigate. Everybody's so worried and nervous. What happened? What happened, honey? And his father, um, everything's gonna be fine. He just asked me some few questions. Father, don't worry. I didn't do anything wrong. Mr. Henrich, some like investigators or cops or something like that. You already investigated my father. And he hit Carl. You dare to speak like that to me? Carl, his father called him. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. And then yeah, evil man looking, trying to arrest his father, like, oh, so you have a 7 children, huh? You better keep like you, in Vietnamese is saying like you better keep being alive in this Brazil land. I have the power to revoke your lawyer license. They threatening Heinrich, Carl's father. And his father thought, they will keep investigating me until I do what they want me to do, or else They will not just threaten me, but also my family. Father, you cannot listen to them. This is a last chance for you to turn around. No, father. And his father said, the ideology is very important, but it is not as important as the lives of my family. He kneeled down, he gave up, and he said, what I talk about in the party was absolutely not what I actually believe, and I also didn't mean it. So he backed out, he backed out and he had to do that to save his family's life. Karl Marx witnessed the softness of his father. He was very disappointed and in pain, heartbroken. He was so frustrated that only after a few days of investigation and threatening coming from the police and the Royal Army, his father surrendered and uh, took his back against all the things that he said in the speech. Marx was so sad and he's crying. He said, of the courage and bravery my father has gone. How can my father give up his ideology that easily? He saw these two women, and now he thought he's so, is so not confident right now, lack of self-esteem right now. And he thought, I guess everybody in the town now, like, look down on my family because what we did. And then everybody in the village, like, well, that's the son of that Heinrich's lawyer, the coward lawyer that like turned his back on his own speech to protect his own life. Oh man, look at that. He always so proud of his father, and look what happened. It's ironic. I cannot go to school anymore. Max was so sad and depressed. When he came back home, his father asked, why did you come home so late? He didn't answer. Carl, what is that attitude toward your father? Your father is so nervous and worried about you all day, and now that's how you react to him? Leave me alone, Carl said. Carl, you should have a breakfast. Where are you going? He just ignored his father. He's mad. Carl, stop that. You've been like this for a few days already. Mr. Westphalian, what would Mr. Westphalian think about my father? Even Jenny, what would she think about me and my family? Carl, where are you? Carl. Oh, that's Jenny's voice. What I want to do right now? Carl, I've been looking for you for days. Why suddenly you quit your class? Well, whatever happened? You should tell me. You should inform me. You know that we love you, right? There are many people who love you, right? And we worry about you very much. I'm sorry. I'm afraid that you will hate me. But Jenny, oh, this is so sweet. She held his hand, trying to like calm him down.
It's gonna be a love story, did you?
You didn't expect this, did you? A love story between Carl. No, you fix it. You fix it. You need to fix it.
Oh no! Sorry.
Love story between Karl Marx and Jenny. Well.
Wait, sorry. I'm gonna do it. Permanent fix here. Okay.
Okay, great.
There you go.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. Mr. Westphalian explained to Marx that he must understand that we as a humanity, we must choose our time, choose the right time to show our bravery. I mean, he's right. Not always you should like show your bravery, even like that's gonna, take your life and your people's life. Like, I mean, we have a saying that just survive to fight another day. Kind of understand that mindset. And Westphalian also said that, like, the core point here is that the society of Russia in this time killed all the courage of the people. Yeah, I mean, kind of pretty hopeless, I gotta say. In this world, they are brave people and they are also cowards. The point is that the problem is that the nowadays society killed all the courage of the people. You must think about this carefully. Well, you must think about this carefully. What if the people in power keep acting as they wish to cause pain and misery to the poor people? What will happen to the society? It is a terrible world. Even if we have a courage or not, no matter that we have courage or not, everybody has the right to speak out their thought. Just make sure that you will not harm other people. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Good advice. I mean, everybody have the right, freedom of speech, but in the point that you will not harm other people and your own family too. Just don't harm other people. That's why I don't believe in freedom of speech to Nazis and fascists, because the whole point of their existence is to harm other people, to harm like non-white people. So no freedom of speech for Nazis. I'm sorry. Now I understand. It is this society that killed my father's courage. I am so shallow. I acted so shallow. I didn't understand it before. My father afraid that me and my family would be killed. That is why he had to reject his own belief. Father, I'm sorry, father. My son, don't cry. It just makes you more tired. I mean, his father is a very I gotta say, like, just don't cry, man. It just makes you tired. It doesn't fix anything. Car. From now on, if I do anything wrong, you must tell me immediately. Just like whenever you do anything wrong, I will tell you too. Yes, father. His fathers keep talking. From now on, me and you will be good friends with each other and we will not hurt each other anymore, okay? But father, when can our people join the political decisions of our country? First, we must build a system of laws and a regime and a rightful regime, son. Okay, so yeah, first they need to build a system of law and a system of regime that gonna benefit the people. Oh, so in that system of society, in that regime, everybody will have the right to express their thought, right, father? Carl, in the future, you should choose to study to be a lawyer and try to make a system of law that is good for the people. And if you become a lawyer or a professor in a university, the family of Mr. Westphalian would no longer have any reason to oppose your marriage between you and Jenny. Okay, so his father advised him to be a lawyer because he can also have building a law system that good for the people and also raise his position in society higher so he can marry Jenny. Got it. So Marx was trying, that was why Marx was trying so hard to study to become a lawyer or a professor in the university as his father wished. This is a little bit of history of Borussia. I want to read it now. Next, chapter 4, Study to Change the World. When Marx was 17 years old, he graduated from his high school in Trier in 1985. And then after that, Marx went to the law university in Bonn. And he was studying in school, and one day he saw a leaflet say, "Down with the feudalism, give all the power to the people." Wow. Everybody must read this leaflet, huh? Okay, they're spreading the leaflet. Propaganda. Like you spread stickers and patches all over the place, and drawing arts. I do believe that art must serve the people. Art must serve the revolution if you want to change society. The day of the collapse of feudalism is coming. This is sad. Somebody scream out loud. All the university students, they are giving out leaflets talking about appealing people to rise up to fight against the bloodthirsty feudalism. And then I guess this is Marx. He said, "Well, I wish that all the slogans be written in a simple way so many people can understand it too." Well, who can write that? Who is able to write those slogans? We must make those philosophical slogans become symbol and to contain the power so many people can understand and follow us. Oh yes, Karl Marx can do it. Karl Marx, the guy, the new student that just went to school to study laws. Well, I know that usually the freshmen do not know much about philosophy or literature, but Marx is different. He read a lot of novels and books when he was in secondary school and high school. And I even heard that lots of other students said that he even learned by heart so many poems of and stories of Byron or Shakespeare's or Goethe, something like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's famous for being very smart. Hey, can you please write the leaflet for us? Oh, actually, Marx was kind of hesitate. Well, do you have any questions? Do you still have any question? They're asking him. He said, actually, this world, it's not that easy to change this world as you thought. What did you just say? And Marx thought that, oh, if I join this movement, what would happen to me? He was kind of nervous and hesitated a little bit. Karl, I understand why you are so hesitant. I am sure that you're looking for a brighter future for yourself, and if you join this movement, and if you join this movement, and if this movement succeed, you will not have a job in society anymore. Because he studied to be a lawyer in this system, and if this system doesn't exist anymore, his position would be lost. That's why. But will you still feel happy that you can have a good salary, a good job, and a beautiful house while the people is still living in poverty and misery? While people like us are fighting every day for a better society. The problem is now that society has killed all the courage and bravery of the people. He's thinking again about the things that Westmoreland told him about society. Nobody has any courage and bravery in this brutal society anymore. And what would happen if the bourgeois keep doing that to the poor farmer? Therefore, Marx decided to join the movement by writing leaflets and making slogans for other students. And the more he wrote, the more he found out that he need to learn more. And Marx said to himself, yes, I have to be brave. I have to be more brave right now. And he's like, nervous, thinking about the slogan, and he's thinking about that. I already wrote about how the feudalism is rotting and how the socialism, the revolution has happened in both France and England. Now I don't have any more topic to talk about, to write about. In the end of the day, all the thing that I've read and I've wrote is just a drop of water in the ocean. I cannot just stop in criticizing the old regime, the old society. I have to come up and show people some path to the future, to a new society. But I still don't know what that is yet. I've thought that I've been knowing it my whole life, but now I found out. Actually, I don't know anything. I want to learn to find out about the revolutionary paths for the people. What should I do now? Then he remembered about his father's words. In order to nurture the power of ideology, you need to study philosophy, because philosophy is the kind of field that research and study about the power of thoughts. In 1986, Marx moved to study in Berlin University. He studied philosophy here. The atmosphere in Berlin nowadays at that time was very dark. So government, like what did you call it, censor a lot of information, articles, writings, but Marx still very actively joined all the political meetings of student union. See, so Marx was not just a philosopher. He didn't just sit there and write and think and write about this stuff. He was very active. He was an activist, and because of the time becoming an activist, active in joining of all the student movement like this, he came up with his own ideology. But nowadays, I mean, especially in the West, lots of people just thinking Marx and Engels just like boring, philosopher who never had anything, never done anything in real life, and they're just a bunch of nerds sitting there thinking about utopia in the future. But actually, they all wrong. Marx and Engels were both activists, and they were very active in their lifetime. That was why and how they came up with their ideology in their books. And this is in his student union meeting. The political situation right now is just like a spring. If we don't touch it, it looks kind of okay and stable. But we just need to touch it or push it a little bit, it would jump up really high and it would react really strong. There are many students trying to rise up and change society, and it's just like a spring. But we all cannot escape the control of the police. Yeah, police, man. But it's not but that is not the reason why we should be scared. Everybody, we must be brave. We must overthrow this brutal political system, and we need to protect our people's life. And yeah, overthrowing the old society is the right and the mission of intellectuals like us, students. We cannot accept the belief that once you were born as the royal, you're like a royal family, and we can have to be slave forever. Marx said, also, we need to fight against the belief that everybody naturally born as evil, and we need to use religion and the king to lead people back to the goodness. That is wrong. That's true. I mean, that is true. That I don't know why, but in the West, you have the belief that you were born like the human nature is greedy and evil and competition. And at that time, the religious people and also the royal family, they use that as like so like because you're like naturally evil, so you need something like religions and the kings to lead you into the right way. That is wrong. That is totally wrong because even in Vietnam, in our society, we have a belief that you know nhân chi sơ tính bản thiện. It means that everybody born as good and everybody being born as just a white plain paper. How you grow up in the future, what kind of colors and lines on that white plain paper will be written, will be drawn by the society that we live in. So that is the opposite belief in the East. It's at least in Vietnam that we believe like human. If you believe in human nature is being good, a collective kind of animal that we love and share each other and share everything with each other and we care for each other. That is it. A need advice for children. Okay, now back to this. Let's finish this chapter and call it a stream. Okay. While Max was joining all the meetings in his student meetings, Max's father kept like sending letters to him to ask him to study harder, to make sure a bright future of his own self. His father wanted him to become a lawyer. So, dear Carl, my beloved son, I hope that you will not join into those political movement and instead you're ready to become a lawyer and to be the governor. Um, Remember what happened to you when you were 16. When I had a speech in front of the king, but the world didn't change as I thought, and our family's life was threatened by the police. Even till this day, that story, that like incident still like happen in my mind every day. I'm very worried. So yeah, his father just wanted Karl Marx to give up and just to be a lawyer and a governor, work for the king. My father worry about him very much. Maybe I should just focus on studying to be a lawyer. Marx doubted himself. But I cannot. But I don't want to become a lawyer or a governor. I know that lying is not good. But now my father's health is very bad. I have to write a letter and lie to him just so he can, not worry about me. Marx instead wanted to become a, a law researcher because he wanted to create a system of law, a system of the world of equality more than become an actual lawyer. Okay, I've decided I will become a law researcher because I want to build a system of laws and a new regime that is beneficial to everyone. Marx studied a lot about Hegelian's dialectics. Oh, remember 6 years old Vietnamese kids also know about the Hegelian dialectics. He said, well, Hegelian dialectics is so hard to understand. Marx, I understand. I agree with you. I've been trying so hard to understand Hegelian dialectics. And actually, the thing that helped me understand Hegelian dialectics a little bit, I'm not saying I'm an expert on anything, but the other thing that helped me understand Hegelian dialectics was like the writings about Hegelian dialectics written by other Vietnamese philosophers. But reading Hegelian like books himself, oh boy, no way I can understand that. Okay, this is a Hegel, okay, and let me try to translate Hegelian dialectics to you in this books. Again, this is for children over 6 in Vietnam that we already start learning about this. Everything in this world never stop changing. Always develop, always change. Yeah. Everything in this will always change. In a simple way, dialectics means whenever a thing, a phenomenon. Yes. God damn it. 6 year, I mean 6 year. Okay. In a simple way, dialectics means when a thing or a phenomenon um, mm, when a thing and a phenomenon like contradict with other thing and phenomenon, there's gonna be a contradiction, and in order to deal with that contradiction, those two things and phenomena had to come like agree with each other, and therefore we will have a new definition. I mean, the synthesis, the antithesis, the thesis, the antithesis, and the synthesis, something like that. I know that it's not exactly what Hegelian said, and the thesis and antithesis and the synthesis thing is mostly people like who study Hegelian's dialectics thought about this, but it mostly like explained to 6-year-old kids understand what Hegelian dialectics mean. Okay. Some guy said, wow, philosophy is always so hard to understand, huh? And Mark said, well, you just think about like the relationship between the Brazilian king and the people. If now the people opposed to the king, well, the regime's what's gonna change in our regime? Anybody like thought about it? Well, now when the farmer like rise up and fight against the king, will the king change his decision? Will the king step down and do what the farmers want them to do? Or will the king react even more harshly and become more brutal, like hundreds of times more brutal? Or the people will overthrow the regime and took over the power? So that is Hegelian dialectics. Oh, I hope that you understand now about the farmers. Here, the farmers and the king fight each other like this, and the farmer this is like a contradiction. It's a very simple example now. The people and the king, and they have contradict each other like this. There must be an answer. The the two things like this, and like this might win and the people take over the power and the king will step down, or the king will use all of his power to cross the movement of the people like this. So I mean like there must be a solution, a synthesis. Might not be good, might I mean like the point is that like the farmers might win or the king might win. We don't know about that. But the thing that we know for sure is that one side must be eliminated if the society want to continue. And we as a revolutionary, we have to make sure that the side of the farmer will win. That is our mission. Okay. Now that is the very basic example of dialectics, especially Hegelian dialectics in this comic book. So point that like the contradictions like that, the dialectics, like we don't know which side is gonna win, but we know that one side is gonna win and one side is gonna lose, like that. Marx also spent a lot of time to research about materialism of Ludwig Feuerbach, the very famous philosopher of Germany. Oh, now I'm translating Ludwig Feuerbach now. God damn it. Like in real time. I mean, this is translation in real time. I never read any of this before this stream. Oh yeah, let's see. I'm trying my best. Oh, poor 6-year-old Vietnamese kids. They first learn about Marx and then Hegelian dialectics, and now Feuerbach's materialism. Let me read this in Vietnamese first, okay? Okay, this is a Feuerbach's materialism according to this comic book. All the belief and all the thought about God, about religion, about virtue, they all do not exist in this material world. On the other hand, say it in the other words, okay. Things exist and has nothing to do with the definitions about those things. For example, we all say that because we go to sleep late, therefore we don't see the sun, but the sun still exists, and the existence does not depend on the fact that we see it or not. Do you understand that, EJ? I hope that I did a good job translating it. So the point of Ludwig Feuerbach is this. Now, he's a materialist, so he believes that it doesn't matter that you believe what you believe and what you explain about a thing, that thing still exists. So, for example, when you go to bed early and you do not see the sun, it doesn't mean that the sun stopped existing. The sun is still out there. You just don't see it because of your own anecdotal experience. That is why Feuerbach, like materialism, is like try to fight against idealism, like that, against the belief of the religious, the God create everything or something like that. All right. Marx studied and applied both Hegelian dialectics and Feuerbach's materialism into forming his own philosophy. Feuerbach was right. In this world, it is not because of consciousness that the material changes. Material must exist first, and consciousness exists later. That is the basic of dialectical materialism by Marx and created by Marx and Engels. Like material, the matter, and consciousness. Matter exists first, and then consciousness exists later. And matter defines consciousness, while consciousness impact on matter. Lucky that I translate the whole book about dialecticism, so I can talk about this a little bit. Carl, let's just rest and go out and have some fun out there. No, I still have so many things to read. Hey, you're such a nerd. So, I mean, Marx was a nerd. Yes, as all we are. Oh my gosh, Marx even like read in his lunchtime and even like when he was in the restroom.
I do that.
Well, if he keeps doing that, he will be like he would get really sick.
I will.
Yeah, my God, meow. Yes, absolutely. Talking about the Vietnamese story about the journey of a cricket. It's really cute. And yes, I am trying to find a Vietnamese version. I haven't found it yet, I guess. I guess I have to buy it online because I've been trying to look for it in bookstores, but I haven't seen it yet. But for sure, once I found it, I will read it and translate it to our audience too. Yeah, it's the journey of the cricket. Like it's very like socialism, a lot of socialism there. Carl, the school is about to close. Let's go home. Well, you should all go home first. Just leave me here. I need to read some more. And he got sick, really sick, and got fainted. Well, Marx said, the wretchedness of existence, right, EJ?
Yeah, the wretchedness of existence.
The wretchedness of existence. Yeah, he had bad health. Yes. Max had to go to the hospital because of his health problem. Well, even in hospital, he's still reading. Max, what are you doing? Like, well, I only feel better when I read books. Max, it's time to take the medicine. And then his teacher was so mad. His professor was so mad. Max, you need to listen to the doctor now. Oh, Max, you're out again. Yeah, so like, well, even in when I'm in the hospital, I still studying really hard. I didn't miss any class. Like, oh my gosh, can't stand you anymore. When Max was 20 years old, he got a news that his father just passed away. Well, and in his last letter, his father sent him, "My dear son, I hope that you will give up all of your political movement and will become a lawyer or a governor." So like his father died, and it's like he's fighting there's a fighting inside Marx that should he do what his father wanted him to do, or should he follow his dream? Now the rest of the story to find out what actually happened, what the decision of Karl Marx will be revealed in the next stream.
Cliffhanger. Did you like your story time, everybody?
I hope you.
Wait, but you can't actually, because I'm taking this book. You're gonna have to buy another copy of this. You're gonna have to spend $2 for another copy. See, you see what we do. See what we have to go through. We have to tape our phone to a table lamp.
You see what we have to do? The 6-year-old Vietnamese kid go through all the Hegelian dialectics and Feuerbach materialism.
I can't believe that. I don't. This is so odd. I mean, it's odd that it's like a little mystery. Where did this come from? You really think this was produced in South Korea?
I don't know, man. No information about this. It's like just a Vietnamese. I don't know, just Vietnamese.
Mysterious book just dropped into the universe, into existence. I mean, it sounded like they did a pretty good job explaining, like dialectical materialism. Am I wrong? Like it was pretty accurate, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see Matewan?
I heard about it, but I never watched it.
Is it Korean?
Mm.
Matewan.
Mm.
That's like a place name?
Mm.
One usually means place.
Quan in Vietnamese.
I don't know what mate means though. Must just be the name of the place. Yeah, nobody can. No, there's no information about it in Google. We looked at English, Korean, and Vietnamese. We couldn't find anything. I looked on Naver, which is the Korean version of Google. There's no information. There's no information in Vietnamese either. But the weird thing is, it's not like
Matewan, West Virginia? That movie? I thought it's a South Korean. God damn it.
Matewan. That's how we would say it. Matewan.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
No, we haven't seen that.
We haven't seen
So
that.
Luna just invented a Korean movie.
Oh, because like
What's the movie
No.
you were thinking of?
there's a South Korean. I think it's a TV show.
Called Matewan?
I thought it that, but I was wrong then because talk about like how like like the poor workers in South Korea had to live in the house used to be the bunker in the wartime.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that, but no.
But the weird thing is that this book series, they have Bill Gates and they have like J.K. Rowling. I really want to read those. I want you to get those too because I want to see what the difference is. Like, because this book is pretty hardcore socialist, right? But when you read the one about Bill Gates, is it like hardcore capitalist or what? Or is it? I don't know. I want to know more about this whole book series now.
There are 16 books.
If you look at the series, it's like two of them stand out, which is Karl Marx and Che Guevara. So it's like Hillary Clinton, J.K. Rowling, Bill Gates, Che Guevara, Steve Jobs, Karl Marx. Like, I don't know. I find it so odd. Maybe they're like radically apolitical. Like the public. I don't know. Anybody have any clue, folks? I don't know. Please read Che's. Yeah, you should get Che's too.
Yeah, I should.
Good idea. PragerU's antithesis. Yes. I'm hungry.
Me too.
Don't forget, folks. These
Oh,
shirts are available now. We could even stock these, but they'll be in Vietnamese.
they've been Vietnamese.
I guess probably. I mean, you could buy it as a. No, we'll just keep working on our book. All right. Well,
I'm having headache. See that?
Kiana Scotzi, yes, Felipe. I love Kiana Scotzi. I watched it when I was in college. Kiana Scotzi is a very interesting documentary. It's been. God, I'm so old. It's been like 20 years since I watched it, probably. But it's like just beautiful imagery, and you kind of like just vibe with it.
I'm having terrible headache. You know why?
Because you just read an entire book on stream for 2 hours.
Like doing like real time translating. 1
Yeah.
hour and a half.
Luna's brain is overloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the United Nations translators, they'll only work for like 30 minutes at a time or something?
Yes, that's the best. Like after that, like you're gonna just be like totally.
It's like
and it's so stressful,
They've done studies, and it's like the most translating in real time is like the most mentally taxing job that they've done.
I'm totally like, I'm out now. Like I can't do anything more.
Dave L is dad. I'm dad.
Ow.
All right. Well, okay. I'm leaving. You can end the stream, right? You got this. Do you need me to like blow some cold air into your brain, cool you down there?
Ooh, the back of my brain is like, ooh, I guess it's the language part or something. Why?
I don't know if that's how it works, but okay.
The pain. I mean, it's so funny that I can feel the physical pain after 1 hour and a half of translating in real life. I mean, it's kind of funny, but I love it. I mean, I love doing it. Don't forget. lunaoi.com/shop.
lunaoi.com/shop.
Bye, everybody. See you next time.